I got an
What
answer.
is he on about?
One second. I got an answer. You can stop the inflation in the market by giving Liverpool Isak for a cheaper deal.
No. Doesn't work like that.
You know what? That's the first thing you've said today that I agree with.
No, because he wants Jackson. I know it's so random, but literally just dropped. You guys actually trying to get Jackson?
Because you're Man United, Ahmed, I expect that Jackson will half his wages just to come to you.
Oh my God!
You know what's fun? You know what's fun?
As I'm looking for the Jackson thing, is true. They offered him £600 a week.
Oh, there you go. I didn't even see that. Oh, there you go then.
£600.
£600,000. £600,000 a week.
That's Paul. That's Paul, baby. That is Paul, baby.
Now you can't retain your player. You can't retain your best player because you're not that club, or else you would have.
No, but that's not Paul. That's just financial.
No. But the thing is,
here we go,
bro. The fact that Isak is saying that he wants to leave Newcastle to Liverpool shows that Newcastle cannot attain their top players because they're not a club yet.
That would only be proof if another player also leaves after him.
Do you think this is just a case of Isak going somewhere where they're going to win? Like it's easy to go to Liverpool at this stage, isn't it? Because they're going to probably win. Like, they've got Wirtz, they got Frimpong, Kirkes. They built a really good team. So
is there a possibility he goes to Saudi?
I'm a bit surprised that Saudi seems to have no pool. They got all the money, but no one wants to go there.
Saudi doesn't have pool.
I think
because if Saudi Arabian teams could play in the Champions League, they would have pool. But the thing is,
though, like if you're looking at the players looking at Bruno Fernandes, they're already multi-millionaires.
But then why are Israeli teams playing this thing? Why is Azerbaijan teams playing? There's Asian teams that are playing in the thing.
Sure, I agree. They shouldn't be playing in it either. That doesn't mean Saudi Arabian team should play.
Is Azerbaijan considered a European team?
Yes, they're in Europe.
I don't care. They should, if they're
Why
not
is
considered
that?
European,
because they're in Europe. Why they're in Europe? Because it's geographically. If you look in the map, they're in Europe, bro.
Okay, so why is Israel considered a European team? UEFA.
I don't know, man. You have to talk to UEFA about that one.
They might as well start counting all the Asian teams. The
way to solve this problem is not to let everybody into the bloody Champions League. We're going to have.
No, they're picking and choosing. They're picking and choosing.
Start playing in the Champions League. What?
They're picking and choosing, putting teams that are not European in the European Championship. So I'm saying, in that case, if the Saudi Pro League ever got accepted to join the Champions League, they would be the end game location for everybody. They would take over the Premier League, easy.
No, EGAL, you can't. You have absolutely no idea, no basis apart from the fact they got.
No, I'm saying maybe not the Premier League, but they would definitely become a top 5 league if they were in the Champions League.
So you want to have non-European teams in the European Cup, essentially, which makes no sense.
We already have that.
Bro, forget Saudi, man. Forget about Saudi.
But I'm saying I am saying we already have that.
This is the second day in a row we've gone off on a mad tangent on something that's completely random.
The tangent is very simple. If Saudi Pro League was in the Champions League, they would be a top 5 league in Europe. Simple.
Would
they? I know because of the quality of players they could attract.
You phrase that.
You think they do, though? Honestly,
they would be a top 5 league. Not everybody. It's not a statement of fact.
They're already
a massive hypothetical. That is a massive hypothetical.
They're already at a good standard. They're already attracting quality players. They have the money. In the case that they have the Champions League,
Rak, you know what your problem is? You don't know you're on EGAL Talks Football. It's not Rak Talks Football. Like this.
All right, now I'm not a dictator, bro. I'm not a dictator.
Listen. They can attract all the players that they want. Saudi.
Kim Jun EGAL.
I would.
I was just simply saying, I'm not saying Saudi Pro League should be added to European Championship, but in the case that they ever were, they would then have the pull to attract the top players in Europe because then they're still playing in the Champions League. And in the future, the Chelsea Club World Cup is probably going to be one of the biggest trophies in the world.
We have no idea whether that's true, EGAL. It may not.
It's equivalent to the World Cup.
They couldn't even. EGAL, it's not.
I almost walked off.
It's the club version of the World Cup.
EGAL, why are you making statements of fact like that?
Chelsea are basically Uruguay.
What?
Okay.
Uruguay won the first World Cup. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
EGAL, but that's not the point. Is you can't predict 70 years into the future. They couldn't. Right? You're not. It's the possibility, but you're
No,
saying this
because-
possibility is a statement of fact already.
No,
We
because
have
this
no
is
idea.
it's called the Club World Cup for a reason.
Yes, and that it doesn't mean that anyone's going to take it seriously in 10 years. Maybe they will.
I
Maybe
think
they
they
won't.
will. I think they will.
Okay,
I
so
think
say
Chelsea.
I think. So say
I
I
think.
think.
By the way, you don't have a Club World Cup because they've changed it. They've
Right.
rebranded your old Club World Cups as an Interfair Cup, similar to what we had. So get used to it. You don't have a Club World Cup. Chelsea's the only team in the
You
world
know
that has a
what?
Club World Cup.
I'm used to it. I'm used to it already.
And I'm not even lying to you guys when I say this. The Club World Cup is going to take over the Champions League eventually. It already has more
No.
earnings.
I think
The
we won
team
a
that
Club
wins
World
the
Cup
Club
a
World Cup
while
already
back,
makes
but
more
no
money
one
than the
cared.
team that wins the Champions League.
Did
Egal,
people
we can
care about the
see-
World Club
I
Cup if they weren't in it?
Egal,
Hey.
we can see your agenda from a mile off. Like,
Bro,
Egal,
I'm an
Egal.
Arsenal fan. I hate Chelsea, but I'm keeping it real. The Club World Cup
You
is
know
a
what?
big deal.
You are keeping it-
I'm going to bring this. I'm going to bring this back around to
The Club World Cup
your
is a
fair
big deal.
I'm going to bring this back to your fair market value analysis, right?
Oh,
The sponsorship value and the broadcasting rights that were sold for this Club World Cup. Where do they come from?
The Zone,
Okay, the Zone. And why do they come from the Zone?
because they had the media rights globally.
Yeah. Because Saudi Arabia pumped a load of money in, and they used that to buy the media rights. But it's all in. But this may or may not have been. There's a bit of a conjecture. May or may not have been connected to Saudi Arabia getting the World Cup in 2030. There's a whole load of stuff. When in terms of apart from the Zone, none of the other major broadcasters even bid. None of them were interested. Now, but this doesn't mean in 30 years' time, or 40 years' time, or 50 years' time, you could be right. I'm saying it's not impossible, but you're making statements of fact which you have completely unsubstantiated.
The Club World Cup is the club equivalent
God,
of the
okay.
World Cup. FIFA is going to pump in a lot of money. I think in the future it will be as big or maybe bigger than the Champions
you know
League.
what Egal just did? He just put his fingers in his ears and said,
Yeah.
I can't hear you."
Hey, you guys are saying I'm gaslighting. I genuinely believe that. But hey, I'm just here to give you my opinion. Let's quickly move on to the next topic. Enough about Isak. I know even you're sick and tired of it, Toon.
No, this was
Here we
light. We were talking about the Club World Cup for most of the time. Like, this was
Fair,
light.
fair. Do you guys think Manchester United will get Jackson?
Ahmed,
Oh,
come
no.
on. With that
By the
proof,
way,
you're gonna-
speaking of
Free.
Jackson, do you know how much? Wait, before I go to Jackson, yeah, you know
Read
how,
the article. Nicholas
listen.
Jackson is keen to join Manchester United this summer, even without European
Money.
football at
Oh,
Old
sorry,
Trafford.
European football.
Of course he is. They signed two strikers at Chelsea. They want him out.
Yeah.
And he wants to go.
Ah.
He thinks he could start at United. I think he would start.
Oh, he could. We got Rasmus.
He's better than Rasmus.
No, but before I answer that, yeah, you know, Mbumu is actually on 160 at Man United. So one, you can't say it's about wages, yeah, because we didn't overspend in terms of wages. I mean, your highest player, I think, is on 160, isn't it? At Newcastle, that's the highest paid player. And then
Who's your highest paid player?
It's Casemiro or someone like that. It's probably
okay.
Casemiro. But like I said, I'm talking about right now. You're comparing to the Glazers. I'm talking about our ownership now. So you can't. We've not spent. We've not overspent anyone yet. And Red Devil United, have we overspent anyone in terms of wages right now? We've not overspent on anything in terms of wages.
Last year it's been like more measured, but we're
Exactly.
basically paying for mistakes 2 to 3 years ago, aren't we?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, Man United are overpaying," who are we overpaying for when the wages are literally set 150? We've not even paid anyone.
Brentford, I've told you you're overpaying. There's a reason why Brentford told you, because we didn't want to meet their 50 million valuation.
So you were okay.
Allow me to complete it.
I'm Brentford going to pay like 40 million for Amari Hutchinson. So the market's inflated. Like the market's overpriced. So
because Man United went and bid 60 million for Cunha on his release clause. That's why Brentford said to you, after you bid 45 plus 5 million for Mbeumo, which is his actual valuation, they said to you, hold on, you guys paid 60 million for Cunha's release clause. We want 60 million. And you said, hold my beer, we're going to give you 71 million for your whole package. But according to Ahmed's world, that's not overpaying. That's a discount.
Okay. When did I say it's a discount? Because you're talking about the whole. You talked about specifically that Man United are overpaying with wages. I didn't talk about the whole transfer value. Okay. And you're talking about 70 mil, okay, and you didn't want to pay 50 mil for him. Mbeumo, and Anthony Elanga. Mbeumo is galaxies ahead of that guy, based on ability and based on quality and everything.
Okay.
He only cost you what, 10, 15 million more? That's how much he cost us. Mbeumo has cost us 15 million more than Anthony Elanga. So, like I said, how can you say you were willing? How can you say, so you're willing to pay for 55 for Elanga, but you weren't willing to go the extra mile for a proven player in Mbeumo? Make that make sense. And as for Cunha, he's another one. 65 mil, we just paid his release clause.
So we've already agreed that the market is overinflated. So we did pay an overinflated price for Mbeumo.
You can say the market is overinflated, but how can
I'm not
you
saying it, because Brentford have said to you, Brentford themselves have told you, you are paying what you paid for Cunha. Because you guys went in with a 45 million bid, because we weren't willing to go to the other bid either for 50 million for Mbeumo. Brentford always wanted 50 million until you paid 60 million for Cunha. That's what you did. That's why we're all having to pay 60s and 55 millions for Madueke. That's what you call an inflated market.
What is your
No. We had to pay 52 million for Madueke because of Elanga.
Bro,
no, brother. No,
these lot bought Elanga for 55 or something.
Because of the Elanga thing, we had to pay 50.
No,
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that. They market Elanga and Madueke in the same bracket.
Listen, when did Man
Cunha
United buy
and Mbeumo are in a different bracket.
Miguel, who made the purchase first? Who bought Cunha?
You bought Elanga. And that's why Madueke cost 52
Miguel, listen, this is how inflated markets work.
They literally quoted Elanga.
Yeah, I know they quoted Elanga. Who bought Cunha first for 60 million? Man United, right?
Cunha was a release clause.
Okay. But who bought Cunha for 60
we did.
million?
Cunha bagged 20 goals. He's a much better player.
Okay. But we're talking about inflated markets. So they bought him for 60
million.
million.
You pay more for the better player.
Brentford said to Man United, this is before Elanga. Brentford said to Man United, you paid 60 million for Cunha. I'm rejecting this 45 million plus 5 million offer. We want 60 million. Man United said, yes. This is before Newcastle.
They're in every right to ask for 60 mil. They're in every right. They're selling their best player.
So but this is my inflated markets, right? This is how it started. It started with Cunha, overpaying for Cunha. Then they went on to Mbeumo, you paid even more, and that's why we're all having to pay even more money for your Elangas.
Okay, I got an
what
answer.
Is he on about?
One second, I got an answer. You can stop the inflation in the market by giving Liverpool Isak for a cheaper deal.
No, doesn't work like that.
You know what? That's the first thing you've said that I agree with.
No, because he wants to talk about inflated market. Take your own advice. Lower the inflation in the market by setting a precedent.
Not only Newcastle have to wait.
And we can start referencing Isak for a cheaper deal.
In EGAL's world, not only do Newcastle have to wait 15 years before they can see
sell
success,
Isak for 120.
They also have to sell Isak for 120 just to make it right.
Sell Isak for 120 plus add-ons.
Why?
Because you're doing your job in lowering inflation.
Because you're all about fairness. Why should Newcastle discount their price for Isak just because Man United went and overpaid for players?
No, because you're setting a precedent. 1 second. Because you're setting a precedent. You want to right the wrongs of other people, and you want to bring it down.
Okay, EGAL.
Fucking hell, what is going on here?
Is it overpriced though? I think overpriced.
Am I tripping or am I wrong? Did he not see? Did he not start this conversation?
You're saying Newcastle should put a discount on Isak's price because Man United inflated the market. How does that make sense? The second thing I'll say to you is,
you set yourself up.
Okay.
It's okay. Listen, I don't know how we got from Nicholas Jackson to this, but can we quickly talk about Arsenal before I'm an hour and a half almost into the show and we haven't even spoken about Arsenal? Or do you guys say fuck Arsenal? Let's not. We'll,
I'll just tell you that. Is it going overpriced at 65 million? I think if you're looking at the price, if you're looking at the price of a player, you've got to consider the salary over 5 years. So we bought Mason Mount for 60 million, but gave him $250,000 per week. We're paying 5 million less than salary per year for Mbeumo. So I don't know. I think it's a good deal.
I don't know how they're saying we ruined the market.
If he bags in goals, yeah, it's a good deal. If he ends up not performing, then it's not a good deal.
What's not good about Mbeumo?
Performance.
Work rate, assists, goals. Like It's only 25. What's wrong
We
with the deal? I
overpaid
don't
for
see.
Mbeumo, by the way, but Elanga 55 mil. Oh, that's okay. That's okay, innit? That's all right.
You guys overpaid on everything in the previous ownership.
Bro.
You gave Rashford nearly 400k a week.
Okay,
I get
this?
it.
How about this? Every player right now in this market, by everyone's logic, is we're living in an inflated market and everyone's overpriced.
Bro, this market is actually not as bad as post Neymar.
What?
Oh my God!
Post Neymar, the world was crazy. Coutinho was going for 100-something mil.
Listen, Coutinho. Listen. Let's not look. That Coutinho money.
Grealish was post Neymar. Post Neymar. 1 second. Post Neymar market was crazy. This right now is your purchasing potential is higher. But when you're purchasing players who have already hit their potential and on their decline, they're a lot more affordable. If you want a player who's in their 29, 30, you're going to get a reasonable deal. If you want a player who's 21, 20, you're going to get a reasonable deal. Between 23 and 27, you're going to pay up the ass. That's where you're going to pay a lot of money. Anyways, that's a bad reference, but yeah, it's a mad thing. Anyways, big pause. Let's go to Arsenal. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and leave a comment down below what you thought of that video you just watched.